Hello everyone. So this is very interesting. A couple of days ago, around the time of Wagner's little parade through Russia, there came reports from Telegram, which are on screen now, saying that Ukraine had established a crossing near the Antonovsky Bridge, featuring 3 tanks and troop support, which crossed by barge. Then things went quiet for a few days, and it was believed to be twaddle, as there was no videos or further confirmation or photos. Now we have a second report here, and a video which I'll play afterwards. This basically says that Ukraine has held a bridgehead on the eastern side of the Dnipro for 3 days, with units of the Russian armed forces withdrawing from the area because of Ukraine's artillery support. The report says 50 Ukrainians are there seeking to expand control, and that the short distance travelled on the water doesn't allow for rapid artillery strikes on the Ukrainian boats. Plus, electronic warfare is in the area, preventing Russian drones from operating. A FAB strike has been requested on the bridge. And here, the first video from the scene evidence somewhat that a crossing or at least some type of action has taken place. As it is combat heavy, I have trimmed the version up on YouTube down to just show the basics. But it shows a Russian BTR evacuating Russian soldiers and engaging Ukrainian positions. It gets targeted itself as it retreats, and it's admittedly a pretty cool bit of driving and pretty brave of the Russian BTR commander to do this. Some screenshots. First, this is a very high-tech drone. The picture quality is brilliant. But this screenshot shows the Ukrainian side of the Dnipro. Something was burning and hit. Whether by the BTR or artillery, I can't say. This screenshot shows the incoming fire to the BTR from the Ukrainian side of the Dnipro. I didn't see any incoming fire from the eastern bank where Ukrainian positions are. Now, whether this is because they kept their heads down and called in support from the other side, the fact they crossed elsewhere and actually aren't in this position, or even that this was early on when the crossing had just begun and Ukrainian positions hadn't been established yet, who knows? But the BTR was looking like it was engaging positions near the eastern bank of the Dnipro itself at times. No date was given for this video, so it could have been from a couple of days ago, before Ukrainian forces got established east of the Dnipro. This occurred here, so confirmed to be the eastern bank. This shows us that this area is perhaps under-defended and there is an opening of sorts for Ukraine. Whether this is a probe or a legit attempt to establish a bridgehead, I can't say for sure. But if the talk about advanced electronic warfare equipment and heavy artillery being here is accurate, I think this could be the beginning of a new big push. If this is where we are going to see a big push, then it is a weak link in Russia's lines. First, here's the situation on June the 6th, before the Novokakhovka Dam was destroyed, after Russia was forced to pull back to Oleshki, leaving a relatively undefended area which Ukraine has exploited. And as you can see on Deep State's fortifications map, Kherson region is much less defended than Zaporizhia, with none of those huge, long, sweeping defensive lines spreading dozens of kilometers. In Kherson, it's mainly smaller fortifications guarding key roads and key cities. It's very possible that Ukraine, if it can get forces over in strength, can exploit this weakness and make some serious gains. The obvious target would be a strike hard and fast towards Crimea. Even if Ukraine can't take Crimea yet, they can cut off one of only 2 supply routes leading out of Crimea. The other one, on the east, goes over a bridge which is currently out of service thanks to Storm Shadow. This will not only hamper supplies to Crimea itself, but supplies coming out of Crimea to support Russian forces taking part in the counter-offensive in Zaporizhia. And if Ukraine manages to get close enough to Crimea, it brings the Chonhar Bridge, which Storm Shadow hit, within HIMARS, and Ukraine could pretty much hit it constantly. Another possibility, 2 pushes, one to Crimea, one to Melitopol. Melitopol will basically go behind Russia's big impressive defensive lines, completely bypassing them and allowing Ukraine to attack from the rear, seeming a bit like the old Maginot Line of France here in World War II. If this is the case and Ukraine pushes towards Melitopol too, I wouldn't be surprised to see a withdrawal of Russian troops from the Kherson region and parts of Zaporizhia, south of Orikhiv, to another defensive line further east, or they would have a strong chance of getting cut off. So this is definitely an area we're going to have to keep an eye on. So that's it for this video. I hope you found it interesting. If so, please click like and subscribe. I'd appreciate it. Thanks again, and take care everybody.